All right. Welcome everybody. I hope everybody's having a good day. This is Eric, and we're going to be taking a look at today one of my favorite specs in the whole game, Devour Demon Hunter, playing the Void Guard hero tree here. We're going to be taking a look at the talents a little bit, most important ones. We're going to be taking a look at basic rotations, how to survive, and one of the biggest strengths of this class, how to move. So, if we just take a quick look here, this is the build. I'm not going to go through all of the talents one by one, but this is, in my opinion, the build that has the most success. One thing I will point out here we did select Collapsing Star. Truth is, I would not play this. Like, I'm never gonna cast it. And the main reason is I use this talent point for the only reason that it's like this here, Rolling Torment, it's bugged. And if we do not spec into Collapsing Star, it just doesn't work, which is completely stupid. They're probably going to fix it at some point, and when they do, I'm just going to remove Collapsing Star here and put the talent back in Sweet Release here, right? So this is the build I would play, but since these are kind of missing, there's something wrong with the way it works, and just Rolling Torment just doesn't happen. Uh, we're specking 1 point in collapse instead. Sadly, when they fix it, it's going to just a little bit better. Because I'm never ever going to cast this. So, if you look at the PvP talents here, Glimpse here is extremely important. Vengeful Retreat, which I'm going to cover later here, it's a spell that we use to just jump backwards, right? When we use it, it provides immunity to loss of control effects and reduces damage we take by 25% until we land. So this is extremely, extremely important. Back in here, Reap, which is probably our main attack, reduces the cast time of your next consume by 100%. And this, in my opinion, is the most important talent in PvP. And the reason is it completely changes your rotation. If you don't use this, this spec just doesn't work, right? If you play Devourer, you need to play this, and you'll see why later when I cover the basic rotations. So every time I use Reap, my next consume is reduced by 100% cast time, okay? And it also generates one additional soul fragment. So this is super important. The third one is optional. There's a couple different ways people play, but me, I really play this one. Armor is increased by 100%, and taking damage has 12% chance to generate a soul fragment. The increase of one armor is super significant. It makes a big difference. I would never play this spec without this. So these are, in my opinion, non-negotiable. Some people will change Armor of Soul for something else. These two are pretty much everybody uses them, but I still use the third one, and I never change. I never use any other talents. So this is the best, the basic spec, right? Now we're gonna cover the mobility first, right? Demon Hunter, one of the things that has that's just spectacular is the movement of this class. So obviously you can just run like everything else, but there's a button that you can use. It's the ability has two charges and it's shift. And you're gonna see in the video later, I'm gonna put a couple videos explaining to you when I use it. Shift is amazing, and you're gonna see in the PvP tempo how great it is, right? So this is going to be one of the two main things that we're going to be using to just get away, escape. So the way it works, anytime I click on it, I can target anywhere on the map. There's a distance, obviously, and when I press on it, you can just teleport there. So you have two charges. This is great. The second thing, we talked about it earlier a little bit, the Vengeful Retreat. And remember, in our points here, uh, when we cast Vengeful Retreat, we get immunity for loss of control until we land and 25 less damage, 25% less damage. So if I press on this, I just jump backwards, right? The third thing that we can use for mobility is double jump. If you jump and you jump again, you get a double jump. If you press twice in the air, you're going to glide, which is extremely fun. So 1, 2, 3, right? So then you can pretty much mix them all. 1, 2, 3, target here before I land, boom. So obviously, as you can see, Demon Hunter, if you're like carrying a flag or something like this, or you just want to reach somewhere quickly, it's insanely fun. So this covers the basic moves for the mobility of the Demon Hunter, right?
Too far away.
Arcane Torrent is pretty, oh, I think it's an okay spell. Arcane Torrent is going to remove one beneficial effect from all enemies within 8 yards. That's very good, and also generates 15 Fury, which is super important because we're going to need that, right? The Fury is what we're going to consume when we're using Void Ray, which is pretty much our main attack. Our main damage dealer, and if you look at our whole rotation, at the end of the rotation is pretty much our biggest dealer if you use it every time it's ready. Now, the second thing we're going to look at, Consume Magic, which is a basic spell from the class. It's not racial, so it's in the class. So if I go here, Consume Magic, it's right here. It pretty much does the same, similar. You consume one beneficial magic effect from an opponent, and you move it, and it gives you 20 fury. Right? Now, Blur here, which is something that's getting nerfed next week, sadly. It reduces all damage taken by 25% for 10 seconds. Very important, has 2 charges. It's going to be, it's really good, especially when you get uh, kind of attacked and your cooldowns to move and your like mobility is kind of slowed down, or you can't, you're waiting for it to come back. You know, this is super important. Second thing here, darkness. Darkness is it's very good. Um, it summons darkness around you, 8 yards. It's not that big, but you kind of summon a smoke, similar to the rogue smoke bomb, really. And then you get 50%, 15% chance to avoid all damage from an attack. So you're not, it's not like smoke bomb where nobody can target you in it for as long as you're in it. It's going to prevent damage for an attack. So if 25 people are attacking you, you will suffer some damage. But still, it's still very good. Okay, so if you combine this, the darkness, you know, you lessen the chance to get attacked, and then blur is going to reduce your damage. You can consume, use these on the defense to kind of protect yourself and remove beneficial effects to on your opponent. And then you can always get out of the way, you know, you exit the combat, especially against a melee vengeful retreat. You get out of the range of a caster, for example, and then you can also use the shift, your like a teleport, right, to get you out of the way. One thing that I did not cover, I forgot to tell you, is when we talk about mobility, sometimes if you're carrying a bag, for example, with Warsaw Gorge, and I'm trying to run away from people, uh, there's 2 charges that we have. We're going to cover them in the damage or the rotation part, right? But keep in mind, if I have a charge, I can always use that to just transfer and move. As you're going to see in the video later, I'm going to put a couple examples of backgrounds that I did, and you're going to see how it moves. And I'm going to use this quite a lot, especially while I'm going to do some Warzone Gulch and stuff like that. And for sure, every time I play it, I carry the flag, and I just use my charges to just get away from people quickly. So you charge, and then you can just, you know, use Haunt to charge a second time on another person, and then you shift and you teleport and stuff like that, right? So I think this covers the basic things for protection and mobility. The only thing left, we could use Sigil of Mastery here. And if you go look at the talents here, Sigil of Mastery is place a sigil of misery at the target and it activates after 2 seconds. Everybody in it, all enemies, are going to be sent in a fear for 15 seconds, unless they take damage, obviously. So if I look here, this is the same thing. It's a fear that I can just place an area of effect. After 2 seconds, it just pops here, and then everybody in there is going to be here. Now, two more important things. I consider them CC, but it helps a lot for survivability. Three things actually. First one is going to be disrupt. It's super simple. It's a silence. The rogue have a kick, and you know, detonate, strangulate, and stuff like that. So if you this here disrupt is really, it's going to be a silence. You stop the spell casting of the opponent, and for 5 seconds they cannot cast another spell of that magic school, school of magic. But it generates 30 fury, which is very good. Another thing here, imprison. Imprison, instant cast, 20-yard range. You just pretty much take somebody and stun him, a demon, beast, or humanoid, and you put them for 1 minute. But honestly, in PvP, that's not the time. It's not going to be there for 1 minute. In PvP, it's a lot less than that. It's not even there. It's probably around, I think it's 5 or 8 seconds, but I think it's 5 seconds. But anyways, so it's instant cast and it's a prison. You just lock the person. You can pretty much consider it like a stun. For example, like the stuns of the paladin. Another thing here, Void Nova, pretty cool ability. The Unleash Eruption, it's instant cast also. And what it does is a little bit of damage, not very significant, but it also stuns all the enemy around you for 2 seconds. So it's a 30-yard range, which is pretty good. And it's done just everybody at the same time. So obviously this could count as a spell cast interrupt. Also, just like the imprison, the person starts a cast, you just lock them there in the prison and it's over. One utility thing that I did not talk about is spectral sight. In Arena VG, spectral sight is something that you're going to use to detect invisible people. Feral druids, mages, hunters, and especially everybody's favorite, the rogues. So if a rogue is going to be invisible, you're going to see him in a red shape like this. Now, let's take a look at the damage rotations. There's two rotations we have in this spec. The first one is going to be the melee aspect of the demon hunter. The first ability we're going to use is Void Blade. The Void Blade is a charge which deals quite a decent amount of damage and generates fury. Okay. The second one is going to be the Hunt. Hunt is a talent that you need to take. It's right here. Okay. 1.5 minute cooldown. It's a little bit of a cast, a little bit less than 1 second, and it does quite a lot of damage too. So you're going to strike the enemy for a decent amount of damage. It's going to move them in place for 1.5 seconds, and then inflict damage over 6 seconds to up to 5 enemies in the path. So not around the person, but between you and the person. So if I pass 3 enemies, they're going to suffer damage for 6 seconds. Okay. So if you combine these, that's going to be the basic rotation. Rotation 1, Void Blade, and Void Blade, or the Hunt. Both of them, when we use them, Void Blade is going to become Hungering Slash. Hungering Slash does quite a lot of damage to you. So the way it's going to work is we're going to use Void Blade, then it's going to become Hungering Slash. We slash. Then we Vengeful Retreat. We used the Hunt to charge again, and then do Hungering Slash once again. Okay? Then we're going to jump back with our second Vengeful Retreat, and then we can start the long distance rotation. Okay? So if I give you an example here, charge, Hungering Slash, jump back, the Hunt, Hungering Slash, and jump back. So this is the basic rotation. The other abilities, soul immolation here. Okay, so we have abilities like soul immolation, void ray, and obviously the void metamorphosis are going to be three abilities that we use pretty much when they're ready. But void often in BG's arena, I'm gonna wait a little bit until I use it because I'm gonna use it when I really want to finish them. Okay. So the first one, soul immolation. It has two charges. It's instant cast, obviously, and this is going to be our main healing ability. So healing yourself for 24% of your maximum health, generating 36 fury, and shattering 3 soul fragments over 5 seconds. Okay, so you can see it here if I use it, and now you see the healing numbers here, right? And it has two charges, and it's also creating a bunch of the shards, which we're going to use later. This is what, if you use the ability Reap, which is a distance attack, which hits like a truck, it's going to consume something. So, this is the first one that we do when it's ready. A Void Ray is like somewhat of like a Dragon Breath, for example. When it's ready, you just use it. It's our main damage dealer. So now, let's say we use a rotation 1, Reap, Void Blade, then it transfers, we do it again, Hunger and Slash. We Vengeful Retreat to jump back. We do the Hunt, charge again, Hunger and Slash, and we come back with Vengeful Retreat, and now we start our ranged rotation. Like I mentioned earlier when we were looking at the talents, okay, if we look at the PvP talents here, Reap reduces the cast time of your next consume by 100% and causes it to generate 1 additional soul fragments. So, if you're here, consume is this, right? So I use it, it's instant. Now it's not, there's no square, it's not lighted around, right? So if I use Reap, now it becomes lightened again. So I can use it as an instant. So you Reap again, then you consume again. And then you Reap again, and then you consume again, right? Every time soul immolation is ready, I would consider casting it often. I'm going to use it right before I enter combat, okay? This has 2 charges, so and it also generates soul fragments here. That are consumed, as you can see here, by a Reap. But then I consume, I get more, use them to do more damage, and then I consume, and then you do it again, and then immolation is back, so you use it, okay? So, and then you have Void Ray here, that once you've gotten enough energy here, we can just use it. And the range is quite far, and see, it just reduced it by a lot here. Second, the pink one. So, if I give you a brief example here, this is on cooldown right now, I can use it, so I would use Soul, Charge, Slash, come back, Hunt, Slash, Soul, come back, Void Ray, and then we start Reap, Consume, Void Ray, Reap, Ignation, Instant Consume, Reap, and we just go like this. When it's ready, metamorphosis, everything resets. The rotation is just the same. It's just that it does a ton more damage. Okay?